Sometimes I really just hate Facebook. I really do, man. As I'm critiquing them as I'm on it.
It's weird how it's so delayed.
Well, it just sucks because they're so stupid with the business profile.
Yeah.
I'll criticize them. I don't give a shit. Free country. All right, and then finally, all right, go live. Three, two, one.
Powered by Riverside.
What's going on, everybody? And welcome into a brand new episode of the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Cott. Alongside of me this week, Jake Belts. What's up, Jake?
What's up, man? How are you, man?
Oh, we are here. We are here. Daytona, finally, right? We had some
Yep.
practice today. Felt really good to be on the track again. Credits where credits due. Fox actually came up clutch, and they got rid of the stupid comic book characters. Graphics were actually really good. They actually look like a professional broadcast again.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. No, I got to catch a little bit of it at work on break, but yeah, no, it seemed pretty legit this time, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I think that they may have listened to the fans, and Prime and TNT may have shut them up with
Yeah.
just thank you, Jesus. No, so again, welcome on in, guys. Brand new episode tonight. Jake, real fun episode this week. We are doing our Broken Wheel Bearing podcast race predictions throughout 2026. We're going to basically go through the schedule, pick who we think is going to win races. Blown Engine chat line wide open. If you want to argue with us, feel free to do it. We're more than welcome to discuss on air with all of you. But Jake, before we start off tonight's show, a couple show announcements. And the first thing I wanted to say, first of all, thank you so much to everybody who has tuned into us the last couple of weeks. And thank you so much for everyone that is following us on the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast Facebook page, YouTube channel. We appreciate all the new support and love that we get from you. Jake and I, we're just growing. We are absolutely growing. We love doing what we do. We love talking NASCAR with all of you. And, we appreciate everyone taking their time out on Wednesdays, whether it's Tuesdays, Thursdays, whatever it is. You take the time out and you support us. Absolutely remarkable. And it's just means so much, and we can't appreciate it enough. So I wanted to take some time out and thank everyone that continues growing and making this show happen. Because if it
Yes.
isn't for you guys, Jake and I could just make one phone call together, and that's that. So
Yeah.
I want to say thank you.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. Thanks to all of our supporters for sure. It means the world to us. We see you and love when you guys all interact with us. So yeah, again, thank you.
Absolutely. So, Jake, also one more show announcement. Unfortunately, we have no affiliation with Pocono Raceway, but I wanted to bring it up for our Southeast Pennsylvania, Lehigh Valley fans. Pocono Raceway is going to be doing a collaboration event with Rival Sports Bar up in Easton this Sunday for the showing of the Daytona 500. If you live in the area, it looks like a great event, by the way. If you follow us on the Broken Wheel Bearing podcast, I've been reposting it. Get some support up there. They're going to have some raffles, great atmosphere with a lot of great race fans in the area. I don't know what's going to happen if it gets rained out on Monday. So I hope they make the announcement so I can continue sharing this with everybody to have some fun up at Rivals. So again, check them out. Pocono Raceway on Facebook. They've been posting it up. And that'll be at Rivals up in Easton. But Jake, let's kick things off. First things first. Blown Engine chat line comment. Lance checks in. He says Bubba winning them all. We'll just go through line by line.
Yeah.
No driver has ever won 36 straight races.
And I
and we also had
ain't picking him to win one. So
well, we also had a race this past weekend or last week that he did not win. So there goes that
yes.
winning streak. Um, what do you think of practice today
Yeah, I mean, I
down at
got to.
Daytona?
Yeah, no, man, this day's been circled on my calendar since the end of Phoenix. So happy to see him back. Don't get me wrong, we did get a race last week that was a little strung along. I think could have been just ended, but it was good to see the guys back out there. Caught a little bit of practice today. Was just pumped. Was just excited to see them cars wide open. Was very surprised with some of the names I saw with the lap times they were putting in, and then a little disappointed on some guys that I saw towards the bottom that usually are factors in this race almost every year. But it's like everybody says, it's Daytona 500. You can be in 30th place with 6 laps to go and you can win.
No.
So
Yeah, again, like you said, I don't know how much stock I'm going to put into practice, especially the first practice session this
mhm.
week down at Daytona. Some names that definitely popped up that I was like, okay, pretty interesting, right? I thought some of the, Corey LaJoie would start that off, right?
Yes.
Practice time was third best in the practice round. I'm pretty excited about Corey LaJoie in the 500, and I want to
Yeah.
credit our friends over at NASCAR Gambling Podcast. They kind of said, you know what, Corey LaJoie seems like a name that looks pretty damn good for a betting ticket, and this is probably the best ride he's gonna have entering the 500 in the 99 Roush Fenway Keselowski Ford. The one thing I like about Corey LaJoie too, he's also got 3 teammates. He's got Buescher, he's got Brad, and then he's got Priest. So there's a lot of momentum kind of with this 99 one off that I'm hoping translates. But again, let's call it as is. It's the first practice session. I mean, yeah, Cindric looked pretty good, obviously, but again, it's I would not go gambling based off these practice
No.
sessions. I would not yet.
No. Yeah, no, because I was like, and I'm looking through them here, scrolling through them. I mean, just some names that probably will throw people for a loop that are down at the bottom, like William Byron, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, to name a few. It's like these guys are usually guys you're going to hear their name on during the Daytona 500 at one point during that
Yeah.
race, and to see them put lap times in there is something. But yeah, it were people doing manufacturing, getting together, figuring out their cars and stuff, probably drafting, figuring out how these cars are working. So some guys look faster than others, yeah. But I guess it's like you said, we'll figure. We'll see tonight. We'll see what these guys put down tonight.
Absolutely. And kind of back on like your statement there, Jake. Tyler checks in from Full Throttle Media. He said, I didn't put any stock in it. Some guys were drafting, some weren't. Absolutely right. It's the first practice session. I mean, it's very difficult at restrictor plate races to put stock in any practice or really qualifying, right? It doesn't matter where you qualify. Like you said earlier in the segment, Jake, you could be 30th entering with 6 laps to go, and you could put that car all the way in the victory lane.
Yep.
I mean, how many times have we seen drivers try to pull it off, and they some of them do.
Yeah.
So this is obviously the next couple weeks. Practice is not going to really mean much, especially with Daytona, Atlanta, restrictor plate. Practice times really don't mean anything to me pretty much until I would say we hit the road courses and the intermediates. So, But like you said, it was absolutely incredible to see cars back on the track. Credit to where credit's due. Fox actually listened to the fans. They look like a professional broadcast again, not something that a 12-year-old would design. So I got to give them a ton of credit on that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
All right. So that's pretty much that. Qualifying is going to be up in about 40, what is it now, 50 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, in about 50 minutes, qualifying will be up. I don't know if we're still going to be on air at that time, but if we are, we would love to chat. But we probably won't be on for the full qualifying segment. And again, thank you for everyone that was with us last week for the live stream of the Clash. And again, thank you, Tyler from Full Throttle Media. That was absolutely an incredible experience and a lot of fun with all of you as well. So, all right, Jake, Broken Wheel Bearing podcast predictions for 2026. Green flag is here. We are officially in the 2026 season. And again, this show is going to be a lot of fun. We're just going to be doing picks. Again, if you're more than welcome, Blown Engine chat line wide open. You want to argue with us, feel free to. And again, keep the comments. If it's something stupid, we will not share it on air.
You already shared one, but
and we will not be sharing anything derogatory. So keep the comments contained and all that type of stuff. But we also kind of want to hear from you. And I guess before we do our picks, I know last week on the live stream we kind of talked about a driver that's kind of underrated going into the 2026 season, or a driver that could rise to the occasion. I'm going to ask the audience tonight: what is one driver entering 2026 you feel is overrated going into the 2026 season? There's a lot of good names out there, in my personal opinion. Names that I feel like they should be in victory lane, but after our predictions, they may not be in victory lane. I want to hear from you. Who is the most overrated driver going into 2026 in your mind? Before we go to our picks, Jake, overrated.
Who do I think is the most overrated driver?
Yeah, going into the
Joey
season.
Logano.
That's a great one. That's a great one. I mean,
Joey Logano.
Capability of winning races, no doubt about it. But if he gets off to and this is what I kind of like about the chase format, you get off to a slow start. Like last year, Brad, he didn't have a top 10, I think, until the Coke 600. And yeah, he put himself in a win-and-in situation, almost won. But I mean, if he wins that race, he's in the playoffs.
Yeah.
After 13 weeks of misery. Logano back in 2024, what was it? I mean, he was off to a horrendous start, ends up winning Nashville, ends up winning the championship. So that's a great answer. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, Joey Logano.
I'm going to go with Connor Zilisch. I think, and I love Connor Zilisch as a prospect. I really do, folks. He's going to be something special. But I think that we kind of need to pump the brakes a little bit on how great he's going to be in 2026. Remember, it's a brand new car he's got to learn. Now, he has the talent, in my personal opinion, to overcome some of the deficiencies that previous rookies have done. But I can't sit there and look at this schedule and go, Connor Zilisch is going to win like 6 races. There's some people predicting that. And I'm like, whoa, guys, relax. It's still a rookie in the Cup Series.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Connor Zilisch entering 2026 might be the most overrated driver. And it sucks because he's only a rookie.
Yeah. And I mean, I agree with that 100%. It's like you said, I don't want to knock the guy's talent, but this is the thing. This isn't Xfinity anymore. You're now racing with the top guys.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing rookie, too, right? Like, Noah Gragson, right?
Yeah, Noah Gragson. I was just about to say him.
Noah Gragson had a lot of success in the Xfinity Series, and I had a lot of high expectations with him going to Stewart-Haas Racing in 2024, and absolutely disappointed me. I know he was with Legacy, he was with Legacy first, and then he went to Stewart-Haas. I actually thought he was going to be better at Stewart-Haas, but that was a whole different story and a mess. Blunt Engine chat line right now. Tyler, he checks in again. Underrated SVG on ovals. Overrated Ross Chastain. Kind of a gut punch there. No, kind of a gut punch. No, I'm kidding. That's actually a pretty good one too. SVG on ovals.
He gave us a little bit this past week.
It's put up or shut up this year with him on the ovals. I mean, is he gonna be much improved, or is he just not going to be a factor at all? Right? And it's very silly, and I know it's very cliche and very generic, but I mean, literally, he couldn't get worse than what he was on the ovals in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Chastain as an overrated driver is an interesting answer from Tyler. I like Ross Chastain. I think Chastain has a lot of talent. I also, in regards to our old school NASCAR fans that always talk about merit, get in the ride. Like, you can't hate Ross if that's, your ideology. But Chastain came onto the scenes in 2022, obviously with the Hail Melon. Then he won at Talladega, he won at Talladega Dakota earlier in the year. Ends up having the Hail Melon, gets into the Final Four. 23, he ends up going to Nashville, was really good at that race, in my opinion. Ends up winning in that summer race. And then 24, he didn't win a race. Last year, he won the Coke 600. He caught William Byron. But Chastain, for how good he is, the results haven't landed him in victory lane as much as we would expect, especially with, and I want to say this, with top-tier equipment at Trackhouse Racing.
Yeah. I don't think that he's somewhat overrated. I mean, I can see that the guy's hyped up. But I think he can win 3 races, but I think he came in and like you said, with the Hell Melon, like, I think he made a name for himself,
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, he is the best driver on that team. Until Connor Zilisch proves something, he's the best driver on that team. So he has to live up
Yeah.
to something, you know what I mean? So
It's a pretty bold statement too, right? Like you got one of the best road course racers in SVG.
mhm.
You have Connor Zilisch, who is a high profile rookie. So yeah, I mean Chastain I would say right now is the best at Trackhouse. That could fade really quickly. That
It
could.
could.
Dave checks in on the Blue Engine chat line. He said Austin Dillon only has a chance to win one race a year. Still don't trust RCR. That is a great answer. That is an awesome answer. I love that answer. I don't think anybody trusts RCR at all. I think RCR is a museum essentially on a racetrack at this point. I still appreciate them for what they are, but come on, you have one of the best drivers in the sport that came over to your team, and now he's been winless since 2023.
Yeah.
Like,
Can't trust
no,
RCR.
you can't trust RCR. And yeah, I agree. Austin Dillon, he's got one shot, and it's oddly Richmond. He has down like crazy. Which again, when we go through our predictions, when we get to Richmond, one of those guys might actually be on my list. Just saying. So again, question of the night for the audience while we go through our predictions. If you're just tuning into us, Blue Engine chat line wide open. Most overrated driver as we enter 2026 in the Cup season. Jake said Joey Logano. I'm going with Connor Zilisch. A couple of great answers already on board with Austin Dillon, Chastain, some pretty good ones. So, all right, Jake, let's kick things off. Prediction, Daytona. Who do you got on the 500?
I'm going to go with an RCR guy. I'm going with Rowdy Racing. I think Kyle Busch
Ooh.
wins this race, and I think he wins it on the last lap from 14th.
Wow. Okay. I like that answer a lot. I really do. He came close in 2023, right?
Yeah.
And how many more years of trying? Like, how many more years? And it's like you've done everything in the sport except for capture that trophy yet.
Exactly.
So, and it is a Chevrolet. Let's call it as is. RCR, restrictor plate, everything is on the board. So I like that answer a lot. Again, I'm not going to go into in-depth stats with any of us during the super speedways because anything can be a gamble at that point. But I do like drivers that do ride in the front majority of the race. I'm going with Chris Buescher.
I like that.
I'm going with Buescher. I think that RFK, after a year of going winless in 2024 or 2025, I really like what they, you just can't count them out at Daytona. Brad has won in the summer races. Buescher won a summer race. I think Buescher gets it done at the 500, and especially with 4 cars in the field, that's going to be pretty tough to beat with that Roush Yates engine. I like Buescher at the 500. So, again, if you have any picks, feel free, chime in, Blue Engine chat line, and we would love to hear from what you have as well. So, next race on the 2026 schedule, Jake, is going to be Atlanta. So we go back-to-back restrictor plate races. Again, data kind of gets thrown out the window. I do love what New Atlanta has become. I thought that the summer race was absolutely immaculate. It reminded us of an old school super speedway race from the early 2000s. I think a lot of fans were really happy with that. Jake, who do you have at Atlanta?
I have him starting off fast this year. Typically does pretty good here. I'm going to go Chase Elliott. I think he starts the season off fast this year, actually. I don't think he has one of these. Oh, see you in the third quarter of the season.
Yeah.
I think he starts off fast this year. I like Chase Elliott this year.
I think the format fits him better, right?
Yeah.
We always talk last couple of years, what do we always talk about with Chase Elliott? Consistency. Mm-hmm. Well, with the Chase format, consistency could take you to that next level as a champion.
Yeah.
So I like the pick of Chase Elliott. I like Hendrick Motorsports at New Atlanta. I do.
Yes.
We've been there 8 times now. They've won 4 races. 2 from William Byron, 2 from Chase Elliott. Kyle Larson's almost won a race there last spring. Alex Bowman always finds a way up into the front. I'm actually going to go with his team at Alex Bowman on this one.
Okay.
I think there was a lot of chatter this offseason about Bowman's ride being in jeopardy. And I think that it kind of takes him a little bit to heart. I love I love Hendrick Motorsports down at New Atlanta. Bowman ended up finishing in the top 5 last year in the summer race, helping his teammate Chase Elliott win it. I think Bowman ends up getting his first win of the season and his first win since Chicago in 2024. So, all right. So now we get into a little bit more fun data, right? We start picking some of the fun races of the 2026 season. After Atlanta, we end up going to the Circuits of the America, our first road course race of the 2026 season. Jake, I'm going to kick things off with you in regards to COTA. Who do you have?
Unfortunately, SVG.
SVG. I mean, it's very difficult to go against SVG considering the fact that,
I don't think he wins them all this year, though. I don't think
so either, right? But when I look at the road course data, right, all stats tonight, courtesy of driveraverages.com. Check them out on Google or on web at driveraverages.com. When I look at the data that they provide, on road courses and street courses since February of 2023, Shane Van Gisbergen is ranked number 1 in full-time drivers in average finish on road courses, 7.6 with 6 wins, 7 top 5s, 10 top 10s, and 342 laps led. The dude is nearly like indestructible on road courses.
Mm-hmm.
But he has struggled at COTA. He has not won at COTA yet. This is where I think that we get, like you said, I don't see him winning all the road course races in 2026. This is the track, in my personal opinion. This is the one that he does not win. I'm actually going to go with Tyler Reddick.
Okay.
Reddick has won at this race before. Reddick is also on a winless streak. I think with the feel good of 23XI finally winning the court case, going into the season, I think that, everything's kind of feeling like home again. I like Tyler Reddick a lot at COTA to start the season off. I got him winning that. So next up, Jake, we kind of go into that West Coast swing, right? We kind of Circuits of America, and then we go right to Phoenix right after the Circuits of America. Phoenix is a unique track, right? 1 mile, intermediate, pretty much the same players we always see at the top take care of business.
Yeah.
I'm going to go over to you. Who do you got at Phoenix?
I'm going to take Christopher Bell.
Ooh, it's a great one. Great one. Remember last year, Christopher Bell won 3 straight races. Phoenix was one of them.
Yes, and he pretty much had that race wrapped. I think. I had the way I was watching him race. I thought all day he was the best car on that track.
The other thing I like about Bell, right? He's got an 11.9 average finish on the intermediate 1 mile tracks. He's got 3 wins on these tracks. He's got 4 top 5s, and 9 top 10s. He's led 596 laps on these 1 mile intermediate tracks. That includes not just Phoenix, that includes Dover as well. I like Christopher Bell a lot in this spot. Again, another driver, you were talking about Chase Elliott. Another driver I want to see start fast again is Christopher Bell. But for me, I'm actually going to go with Denny Hamlin. I think Hamlin wins race number 1 in 2026 at Phoenix. And the reason why I go with Hamlin for this spot, right now he is ranked number 2 in full-time drivers on the 1 mile intermediate tracks with a 7.7 average finish, 3 wins in 15 races, 618 laps led. So we love to see the 11 car in the top of the field. I'm going to go Denny Hamlin, win number 1 of the 2026 season. Kind of overcomes such a tragic offseason, and I think that'll be a very emotional win for not just him, but for the fans as well. Next up, Las Vegas.
Number 5.
Yeah, I don't think there's really any second guessing where you were going with that on Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
We literally had an episode of this podcast labeled Las Vegas, home of Kyle Larson. I'm going to kind of piggyback off of you too. I like Kyle Larson in the spot. He just always has speed at these 1.5s.
Yes.
He's just so fast at Vegas. Usually, if he does not win Vegas, it's not his doing. It's usually some bullshit. A couple years ago when Byron won in 2023, what ended up happening? Eric Almirola ends up wrecking, ends up restacking the field. Byron ends up getting on the restart. And he goes from there. So I like Kyle
Yeah.
Larson a lot in this spot. So you and I both have our first agreement on a driver winning the race. So let's take a quick break from the schedule and predictions. We got Tri-Oval. He's checking in tonight. He goes, overrated Joey Logano. So Jake, Tri-Oval in agreement with you. And he goes, underrated Zane Smith. That's a great answer.
Yeah.
We were talking about 23XI. Front Row Motorsports was in that lawsuit just as heavy as 23XI was. Another organization where, they have the talent to do it. They really do. I mean, I'm bullish on Gilliland. I think Gilliland is a good driver, but Zane Smith has a lot of talent. And a lot of organizations definitely saw that when he was in the lower level series. So that's a great answer. I love that underrated answer, Zane Smith. So going back to our predictions though, Jake, after Las Vegas, the Cup Series ends up heading down to the south, down to Darlington. Not doing a throwback this year. I Tri-Oval, since he's listening, love what he said on Facebook. He said, if we did the throwbacks, every driver should be doing a Greg Biffle paint scheme, right, in honor of him. I would have loved that, by the way. Yeah. It would have been absolutely immaculate. But unfortunately, the throwback is not the attraction in this race, which is kind of disappointing because we had some really good, sick rides over the years. But our first stop at the Lady in Black. Jake, I'm going to head over to you. Who do you got at Darlington?
This might be a curveball for me. I like Ryan Blaney at Darlington.
Ryan Blaney. That's a pretty good answer. I mean, last spring he was catching the field, and then there was that caution, right? I mean, he took the lead, and then there was the caution, and then restacked everything. Hamlin ends up winning last spring. Darlington's a really interesting racetrack just because I love drivers who are usually in the front of that track, and that's usually who we pick because they know how to get around the Lady in Black.
Yeah.
I don't need a driver to have like a one-off scenario where they're like, okay, they got a top 5, and it's like, is it sustainable though?
Exactly.
We've had a lot of drivers over the years get top 5s at Darlington. You're like, wait, hold on. Like Justin Haley got a top 5 at or top 10 at Darlington, and Rick Ware Racing. That's incredible. Don't get me wrong, that's a feat within itself.
Mm-hmm.
But Darlington, you hear a lot of former drivers say, when you pick Darlington winners, it's drivers who get around the track and continuously know how to get around the track. So my pick for me, I'm going to go curveball here. I'm going to Eric Jones.
Okay. I actually like that.
I'm going Eric Jones here.
I just think it's like you said about Darlington. Usually you see the same people up front, right? And then you have those one-offs, That's why I just feel like I always had a hard time picking a winner for Darlington. You know what I mean? I just always, when that race always started, I'm like, I don't know who's going to win this race. I don't. Obviously, like you said, you have the guys who are statistically phenomenal there. But then there's the one-offs that just sneak on in there, and you're like, where the hell did this guy come from?
Yeah, I mean, and some of these drivers that are becoming like the regulars up in the front, right? Like the ones that are becoming regulars. Denny Hamlin clearly knows how to get around Darlington. He is really good at Darlington. Kyle Larson is very good at Darlington, right? I love Brad Keselowski at Darlington too. Brad ended up winning a race back in 2024. I was there for that. That was incredible. He's usually pretty good at Darlington. But like I said, Eric Jones is always that unsung hero where you're like, student knows how to get around the track. And clearly he's got 2 Southern 500 victories. Mm-hmm. One of them with Petty GMS. Now, granted, we're years past that point. But I do like Eric Jones in this spot. He knows how to get around the track. And I can't pick Denny Hamlin every single week. I just can't. So I'm going with Eric Jones on this one. Jake, we're going to continue with the Southern Tour. From Darlington, we're going to Martinsville next. Paperclip. First race at the Paperclip in 2026. It's a 400-miler. Who do you got?
Because we're going to have a repeat winner. Chase Elliott.
Chase Elliott. You know, I like Chase Elliott a lot. I like Chase Elliott at Martinsville. I think I've picked him every single year in that elimination
Yes.
race.
It's hard not to.
It's very hard not to because he knows how to qualify well down there. He knows how to end up winning races down there. Hendrick Motorsports, or I'm sorry, he's only won once in Martinsville, one time. That was in 2020. And don't get me wrong, that was an immaculate victory.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, like, he's always in the top 5.
Yes.
Always in the top 5 or in contention of winning the race.
Mm-hmm.
Jake, I'm in agreement with you. I think Chase Elliott gets his second grandfather clock of his career. I have him winning his first race of 2026 at Martinsville.
I think it's going to be a battle between him and his best friend, Blaney. Blaney's very good at Martinsville.
When we look at the data, right? And I know people on this show are like, oh, there's Matt and his spreadsheets and his data again and all that type of stuff. Sorry, I like data. I like trends. I mean, now granted, I had a great conversation with Tri Oval Life about the super speedways. And yes, no, unfortunately, super speedways, data goes out the window. Let's call it this. Going to Martinsville, though, right? Ryan Blaney obviously has been really good in this since February 2023, according to driveraverage.com on short tracks. He's got 8.8 average finish with 3 wins. Now, all 3 of them came from Martinsville. Where Chase Elliott ranks number 6. I do expect Chase Elliott to, again, how many times do you knock on the door for a victory at Martinsville and you continue getting the door closed on you? Eventually, that damn door is going to come down.
Yeah.
I like Chase Elliott in the spot this year. Before we get to Bristol, which would be the next track on the list, Tri-Oval checks back in again. He said John Hunter Nemechek will win before Eric Jones for Legacy. That's interesting. That is, and I like John Hunter Nemechek.
Oh, I love him.
I like John Hunter Nemechek a lot, and I do think that his progressions as a driver, to me, have absolutely gone upwards, not downwards. Eric Jones kind of feels like he's kind of plateaued at this point in the sport. I do like that. I like that answer, though. That is an interesting answer. I'm still staying with Eric Jones, though, at Darlington. I'm still sticking with Eric Jones, but Tri-Oval, you're probably right. John Hunter Nemechek probably wins before Eric Jones does in 2026. Next up is Bristol Food City 500. By the way, when we talk about Bristol, I love how we're not on dirt anymore. I know it's year 3 of it. I love the concrete. I can't get enough of it. And I hate it when they were on the dirt, and it was a cool experiment. But to me, being on the concrete is so much better. Jake, who do you got at Bristol?
I want to take Larson because he dominates there. I'm not going to pick him. I'm going to go with Tyler Reddick at Bristol.
Tyler Reddick.
I want to go Larson because we both know he's very, very good there. But I like Tyler Reddick.
Tyler Reddick's an interesting answer, right? When I look at the short tracks, now granted, this is Bristol and Martinsville combined, where he isn't really a factor at Martinsville. I know they're totally different, short tracks. Bristol, he's usually up in the front.
Yes.
That's a great answer. I like Reddick there in that spot, but I'm not going to pick Reddick for this one. I'm actually going to go double dip. I'm going with Kyle Larson on this.
Okay. I personally think he is the best in the Cup Series at Bristol.
My thing with Larson on the concrete at Bristol, it's just not when he was with Hendrick Motorsports. Even with Chip Ganassi, he had that raw talent at that track. Now, granted, he didn't win any of the races there, but he just knows how to get around that track.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at his short track averages again, Martinsville and Bristol combined, he ranks number 2 in the Cup Series since the start of 2023 at an 8.9 average finish with 1,442 laps left. Now, a lot of them came in the bulk of last year at the spring race, but at the same time, I like drivers who lead a ton of laps in these events.
Yeah.
And remember, in the first part of the season, you're just, trying to collect data, move on. If you don't have a good week, you try to move on, continue progressing.
Mm-hmm.
Trial will check back in again on the Blunt Engine chat line. Again, Blunt Engine chat line wide open while you're listening to us, hearing picks and all that type of stuff. Feel free to chime in with some of your picks as well. We'd love to get some answers and some of your tracks and all that type of stuff. John Hunter Nemechek showed progression in 2025 when Jones showed regression, and that's not good for him or the team. And I agree with that. And that's the problem with Eric Jones. And like I was just saying, I feel like Eric Jones has plateaued at this point in his NASCAR Cup Series career. Would I love for him to be better? Absolutely. He's a good dude. I like Eric Jones, but unfortunately, you can't continue regressing and expect to have a ride in the near future.
Yeah.
Next up, Jake, we got Kansas. We'll go with you.
I'm going to go I'll give Denny Hamlin his first win there.
You got Denny Hamlin? I'm actually going to go with a driver of the team that he owns.
Okay.
And I'm going to go Bubba Wallace here. I like Bubba in this spot. I think Bubba, that win at Indy did some wonders for him.
Mm-hmm.
When you go on a long winless streak and all that type of stuff, it's almost like you second guess yourself as a driver. And this is all athletes, right? When you're struggling and to find like wins and all that type of stuff as an athlete, you're always going to be like, when is my break going to come? And I think the Indy win last year did wonders for him. I like Bubba Wallace in the spot. 23XI is really good there. Toyota is really good unless Kyle Larson's winning the race. But I do like Bubba Wallace in the spot at Kansas. So I'm going to go Bubba with his first victory of 2026. Next up on the board, we head to another restrictor plate, Talladega.
That's where I'm going. That's what I'm taking. I'm picking John Hunter Nemechek for Talladega.
John Hunter Nemechek. It's a really, really good. It's a great answer.
I would love
as we were talking to Trioval. Did Trioval try to convince you John Hunter Nemechek in that position?
I had him from the beginning.
John Hunter Nemechek Jake going with that at Talladega. For me at Talladega, I'm going Brad Kay. I think Brad Kay, another driver on a long winless streak. It's Talladega. RFK, love the Roush Yates engines. I'm going with Brad Kay. Picks up his first win of 2026. Before we head to everyone's favorite Texas, let's check back in on the Blunt Engine chat line real quick. We got Trioval checking in. He goes, Bubba having a kid centered him and grounded him as a person, which is why he won Indy, in my opinion. I
think it matured him.
It definitely matured him. That's a great response from Trioval Life. I agree with you on that. I think the kid did wonders for him in regards to maturity, right? And I think, if I'm not mistaken, even in his post-race interview when he won, he basically said, I had a new perspective on life when I had my son. Right? Yeah. Like, and I could be mixing things up, but I believe, and I'll have to relook at that tomorrow. And if it is true, I'll post it up on our Facebook page at the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast, excuse me. Jack, he checks in at Dega. He goes, Stenhouse at Dega. Ooh. Good old Hayek Motorsports. You can't go wrong with Recchi there. I mean, we got one more before we go to Texas, and Trioval checks back in again. He goes, y'all better be glad Kurt Busch never had a kid. Some of his radio responses, I still love listening to him and Kyle on the radio. Like, if I'm having a bad day in life, I just literally turn on like radio active and just listen to Kurt Busch and Kyle.
Yes, it's the best.
NASCAR needs that back. I'm just saying.
Yes,
but that's a whole separate topic for another day. Let's head to Texas, Jake. Go ahead.
I hate to say this name, but you got to give the guy props when he gets props. He's usually very good at this track. I gotta, unfortunately, say Joey Logano. He's historically really good at Texas.
Joey Logano. He won their last sprint, right?
Yeah.
That was his only win in 2020.
Yeah.
Only win in 2025. He won their last sprint. Unpopular opinion before I give my pick, I know Texas gets a lot of trash talk and all that type of stuff. I will say, I think Texas has been absolutely a much better race when it's gone down to one race date and
Yes.
back into the spring. I did not need it in the playoffs because usually it's a wreck fest because the surface is just,
Exactly. Yep.
excuse me, so worn out. But I did not need 2 dates there ever in our entire lives. Good old SMI, greedy as anything, but whatever. Point is that they're back down to 1 date in the spring, and they even said too, they're like track attendance is so much better because we're not competing with football. I don't know why they thought it was a good idea to have Texas at 2 dates and one in fall, but that's my personal opinion. My pick for Texas, this one's going to be interesting. I had a lot of thought about it because I do think that this driver does win a race in 2026. I think he came up very short a couple times in 2025. Not all his fault, mechanical failures and all that type of stuff. But I'm going Carson Hocevar here.
Okay.
Hocevar was really good in this race last year. If you rewatch it, he ended up wrecking late in that race.
Yes.
His intermediates, the 1.5s early last year, he did a very good job at. Even at the Coke 600.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, mechanical failure ended up costing him a chance at that crown jewel. So I'm going Hocevar here. So once we leave Texas, though, Jake, we go to another road course on Mother's Day weekend. I still have no clue why NASCAR thought this was a good idea to run up in the Finger Lakes in mid-May. I mean, everyone's complaining about Bowman's Gray being cold, myself included. I'm sorry, guys. Wait until you see snow at Watkins Glen. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. It's probably not going to snow, but it's going to be freezing cold. I hated that they took Darlington off the Mother's Day race day. Really thought it was a stupid idea. I loved Mother's Day at Darlington, but we're going to be up at Watkins Glen Wine Country on Mother's Day weekend. Jake, I'm going to turn the mic over to you. Who do you got?
I like Michael McDowell.
McDowell. It's an interesting choice. I mean, good road racer. Yeah. Here's the question. Do you trust Spire Motorsports equipment to hold up?
I don't. And it showed actually last year when he was competing with SVG. The fucking car just faded. But I do. Michael McDowell is a very good road, like you said, a very good road course racer. I just want to see the guy in victory lane, and I think the only way you're going to see him is on a road course, unfortunately.
Or super speedway, possibly.
Yeah.
Or super speedway, but yeah, I mean McDowell's great. I mean he is a notorious road racer, and for looking at the data, he ranks 7th in time since February 2023. He ranks 7th in average finish on road courses. Now they ran 17 of them, right? He's got 1 win at Indy on that road course, 6 top 5s, 9 top 10s, and 118 laps led. So it's not as astronomical as people think. I mean, and that's his background too. So I like McDowell a lot in that spot. I'm not going to go McDowell. I'm actually going to go SVG though. I think SVG ends up winning this race. I'm going back to the road course trainer on this one. Do I love the idea of seeing SVG win a lot of these road course races? No, because I hope that the field entering 2026 ended up elevating themselves to his level because it'll make racing so much better. Yeah. But it's very difficult to look at the data and go, you know what, SVG, I can't picture him at Watkins Glen. No, he's going to go with I got him at Watkins Glen.
Okay.
So before we get to the next couple of tracks, Jake, Trioval checks back in again. He goes, Texas having 2 dates was cool when they raced the Gen 4s. That is correct. I don't disagree with you on that one. Much better car. Not anymore, though. He also said, get the snow tires for the Glen ready.
He's not wrong.
I like that. Wonder if they're going to race rain tires. And then finally he goes and checks in. He goes, Spire's going to win a race or 2 this year. Yeah, listen, I would love to see Spire in victory lane. I really would. And personally, I would love to see Carson Hocevar win multiple races. Jack checks in on the Glen Engine chat line before we get to the next track. He goes, I'd like to see Brad K win at the Glen. Yeah, I would too. Just not a notorious road racer. I mean, he's got the 1 win years ago now. I mean, we're talking about almost 15 years ago since he last won at the Glen. not really much of a factor at that track. I don't think RFK's program is up to the speed in regards to road racing. Do you want to even discuss the All-Star race? The joke
Not
that's
really.
going to be? No. Sorry, we're even from the area that's
Yeah,
All-Star race is
I
going to be, and we
can't.
can't stand it. No.
I can't, man.
With that being said, then we got the Coke 600.
Coke
Who do you got?
600. I think he goes back to back. I mean, because I'm not going to say I don't think again, so I'll just say I'll give it to Ross Chastain. He's faster. He's good there.
Got Chastain. Yeah, Trackhouse is 1.5 intermediate programs on point.
Yes.
But I do think that going to the Coke 600, I got a little redemption story going back down there. William Byron completely dominated this race last year. Chastain caught him late in the race and late in quarter 4. William Byron goes down there, completely puts on another show. I got William Byron in this one.
Okay.
Up next, Nashville. And at this point, we're in the Amazon Prime part of the season. So we're actually in good broadcasting. Not Clem Boyer anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Nashville, I will take William Byron for Nashville.
Nashville, William Byron. So it's interesting because I thought I had a good read on Nashville. I think all of us as fans thought we had great reads on Nashville Super Speedway for all the years, right? Like you had Chase Elliott the first couple of years, ended up winning the race, and we thought that he ran well in 23. Like we thought that he was going to be the prince of this track. Chastain had good grips and all that type of stuff at this track. It was good in 2022, ended up winning in 2023. But then I feel like 24, with all those cautions and all that, kind of threw a curveball at us. 25 kind of threw a curveball at us last year. But Penske ended up going back-to-back at Nashville before Chastain, or after Chastain and Elliott won the races before. And, of course, we had Kyle Larson, but that was in the previous generation car. For me in Nashville Super Speedway, I think I'm going to go back to familiar faces at this place. And I'm going to have to say, this is where I got a Chastain victory. I think Ross Chastain comes up at Nashville. Could be completely wrong about that, but who knows? Nashville just seems very wacky.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. It just seems wacky at this point. Next up, Jake, we got Michigan.
All right, so I personally think he finally gets his feet wet. He's raced a bunch of races. He gets a feel from the car. I think this is where you see Connor Zilisch get his first win.
You got Connor Zilisch.
He raced there good in the Xfinity Series. Yeah. I think it's been enough races with him. You know what I mean? He's got laps with this car now. He's figured it out. I think this is where you get him a victory.
Yeah, Zilisch is going to be. It's an interesting answer. I feel like if there's outside super speedways, I feel like Michigan treats rookies pretty well, right? Like rookies end up tending to do much better at Michigan than other tracks in the course. I think that's a good answer. I'm actually going with a driver that has absolutely been winless in his career so far, and I'm going with Ty Gibbs.
Okay.
I think Ty Gibbs picks up career win number 1 at Michigan. And for all of our Ty Gibbs fans that continue ripping me a new one, I picked your boy.
Yeah.
But again, he does have speed. He does pretty well at qualifying. He does pretty well at practice up at Michigan. He's ranked 7th in average speed since 2023 at Michigan. That was his rookie year. Or, average finish with an 8.3. He's got 2 top 5s, 2 top 10s at that track. Now, granted, doesn't lead a lot of laps up there. He's a top 5 car, top 10 car, but he does not lead a lot of laps. This is a very good spot for this driver to end up picking win number 1 of his career, but he has to put that car up in the front. If he doesn't, he's done. I'm going with Ty Gibbs.
I like that.
Changing things up here. All right. Next up, Pocono, Tricky Triangle. By the way, we'll be up there.
I'm going to give it to Denny this year.
Denny? Yeah, Denny Hamlin's very...
Basically owns probably rights to that track at this point.
Pretty much. But, Joe Gibbs Racing in general is really good up there.
Yeah, they are.
I actually like Chase Briscoe going back to back. I think Briscoe gets number one of the season up there, and I think that he may have found something at that track. Plus, having Denny Hamlin as your teammate doesn't help at all.
Yes.
So there's a lot of things that they get to see in the simulators and all that type of stuff. So I'm going with Chase Briscoe. Okay, next up we have first time we head out to the San Diego Street Course.
San Diego Street Course. This is where it's hard for me because it's a track that nobody knows. It's a new track, like I just said. No, just put me down for SVG. That could change when that week comes when we're talking about it, but I'll take SVG for now.
These picks are going online, by the way.
It could change when we get to that week and at the end of the show when we're asking each other who we think's going to win. I might not.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I'm just gonna stay with SVG myself.
Okay.
The reason why I'm going with SVG, it's a street course. They don't have. Yes, they were in Chicago for 3 years, but did they have enough experience on street to overcome SVG's talent? I don't know.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I know that in the SVG era, 2024, Alex Bowman ended up winning the Chicago Street Course race, but it was what's called as this. It was process of elimination. SVG ended up having issues in that race and pretty much knocked them out.
Yeah.
Up next, we have Sonoma. Another tricky one for us. I can never get a. I can't get.
I don't want to say his freaking name again.
You can say whoever you want.
Give me Chase Elliott, Sonoma.
Chase Elliott.
Yeah, I like Chase Elliott on road courses.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like Chase Elliott in the next gen car on road courses anymore. I did. I mean, I used to. I mean, he was so good for a while, and then now it's what he's been. He hasn't won a road course race since Road America in 2021, the previous generation car. It's difficult to see like where he's at as a road racer compared to in this next gen car. So it's not a bad pick. That might be a week where I fade him. In regards to Sonoma, again, this is such a difficult track to read. It's one of those road courses that a lot of people, we're out there once a year. I'm going to go Kyle Larson here.
All right.
Kyle Larson has had some incredible success at Sonoma throughout his career at Hendrick Motorsports, and it's very easy to pick SVG because of the average finish at road courses in that time frame. But Kyle Larson is not someone to sit there and like shy away from on that pick. So I'm going with Kyle Larson at Sonoma. Finally, our return back to Chicagoland. We have not been here since 2019. So this is a really, really oddball, track. Yes, we're hoping that it translates to what Vegas has been, what Kansas has been. I think that it's going to get the job done like those two other tracks. But again, like the last winner at this track was Alex Bowman. Do I think Alex Bowman is going to win this race? Probably not. But Chicagoland's up next. Jake, who do you got?
I'm taking Larson for that.
You're going Larson?
He's just so good at those tracks, man.
Yeah.
They just favored him so well. I think he'll be I think he'll be very, very fast there.
Yeah, again, it's the 1.5s, right? It's the 1.5 intermediates. It's going to be your typical players, all that type of stuff. Great racing, though. It's going to be great racing, but at the same time, it's going to be your typical players that are usually in the front at Kansas and Las Vegas that are going to be probably going to Chicagoland, pretty much being the massive factors in it. That's why it's very difficult to not pick one of the top heavy favorites. I'm going with Hamlin on this one. I'm going Denny on the return back to Chicagoland for the win. All right. So now here we go. We return back to Atlanta after Chicagoland on July 12th. So one more restrictor plate. And this sucks because this race is on July 12th. It's a night race. It's on a Sunday night. I hate that. Yeah. Last year was on a Saturday night, and they couldn't have done it any better. I love that Saturday night race. Going back to Atlanta, who you got?
I'm going to take Chase Briscoe on this one.
Briscoe. Great answer. It's a good answer. Joe Gibbs Racing does really well down there as well. I know we talked earlier in the show. Hendrick Motorsports has won 4 out of the 8 races down there. Joe Gibbs Racing has won at Atlanta. For me, I'm actually going to go with the previous winner, but it's going to be interesting. I'm going with the previous winner in a new ride this year. I'm going Daniel Suarez.
Okay. That'll be huge for him, for sure.
That'd be huge, and that'd be huge for Spire, right?
Yes.
I kind of agree with what Trioval said earlier in the show. Spire ends up finding victory lane twice. I think Hocevar and Suarez are the 2 drivers that get those cars in the victory lane in 2026. So, all right, Jake. After Atlanta, we return to North Wilkesboro. I think a lot of fans are excited about this one. So am I. Haven't raced there since, so none of the stats and data apply.
Yeah.
You just got to think of your short track drivers because the last points paying race was in 1996. And I get it, the All-Star race happened and all that type of stuff, but are we really, really going to be taken in consideration from the All-Star race to pick a points paying winner? So
give me Christopher Bell to get a second.
Christopher Bell. Gotcha. I got you down for Christopher Bell. It's a good answer. I like that one a lot. I got Ryan Preece.
Okay.
I think RFK, again, said it earlier in the show.
You're high on them this year.
I am very high on them. RFK went winless in 2025, but I think that they picked up a lot of information on all those cars. I don't expect Brad to basically go the first 11 weeks without a top 10. I expect Buescher to get off to a fast start. I expect Preece in year 2 of upper tier equipment and more confidence. I expect Preece to find himself in the victory lane. Preece is a very good short track racer. He proved that at Stewart-Haas a little bit in a dead organization, essentially. Comes over to RFK Racing. I expect Ryan Preece, and especially what we saw from the Clash. Now, the Clash is the Clash, but it's a short track.
Mm-hmm.
And Ryan Preece found himself in victory lane. So I like Ryan Preece a lot here, and I think that North Wilkesboro is going to fit what he does as a driver. So give me Ryan Preece in this spot.
I like it.
All right, Jake. Next up, we have the Brickyard 400.
Give me Larson.
You got Kyle Larson.
Mm-hmm.
Very difficult to bet against him.
Yeah.
Very difficult
I'm
to bet
upset
against
he's not.
him.
I mean, I'm upset on what happened the past 2 years. I know he won it 2 years ago, and Bubba outran him this past year. But I wish he was doing the double, but that was short-lived. At least the guy can say he did it, but he's very good there. Has a lot of experience there, especially with doing the IndyCar for the 2 years.
Yeah. Like you said, a lot of experience in the IndyCar series, doing running laps at the 500, all that good stuff. Last year, Bubba just got the better end of him,
mm-hmm.
which was, again, we talked about how great it was for Bubba Wallace. But on the other end, it's like, okay, Kyle Larson watched a victory slip away from him. Won this race back in 2024, the first time back at the track since 2020. You can't go wrong with Kyle Larson on this surface. I do like Kyle Larson a lot as well. I'm going with Kyle Larson. Okay, now our third trip over to Iowa. First year, Ryan Blaney won, William Byron won in year 2. I will say this. I was going to say, sorry. I like Iowa a lot. I mean, when they first announced on the schedule, I said, it's a fast-paced Richmond, right? I'm like, nothing special. It's going to be Richmond 2.0. A little bit faster. Iowa has been really good. It's been really fun.
Iowa.
It's fast. It is.
Yes.
And to me, I think it's the fastest race because it's only 350 laps. So it's one of the fastest races of the season. It's a good race to come off of the Brickyard 400, right? They're screaming, they're loud, thunderous in Indy. They come over to Iowa. It's a short, quick race to get you ready to go for the final 3 weeks of the regular season. Iowa is a good track. I hope they never get rid of it.
Me neither.
Who do you got?
He's not letting it slip away this year, Brad K.
Interesting answer.
And I hope he has that camo car again.
So it's crazy when I look at Brad. He's good at these tracks.
Dude, he was good last year.
he was great at, and to be honest with you, it was the fuel mileage that ended up
Yes.
screwing him up. And listen, whatever Rudy Fugle and William Byron put in that car, and whatever they did to get that car to victory lane with that many laps to go, with how much gas they had, I mean, that was analytics to a nutshell.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of fans were pissed off, and they wanted NASCAR to intervene, right? They're like, oh, this car has to be illegal. Hendrick back at their nonsense once again. But at the same time, it's like, hey, listen, NBC must have I think NBC misread the fuel strategy and the fuel mileage, because he went around the track a couple times and he did a burnout. So
Yeah.
there was definitely fuel in that car.
Wrong. Oh yeah, I think it was wrong. I mean, it also comes down, man. Like these guys know how to save fuel. Like,
well, that's the huge.
Don't
thing
get me wrong. You're not
in
really
the
saving
series.
fuel in Iowa, but because it's so fast and you slow down, you're gonna notice someone slow down. But at the end of the day, like you said, I think what was on that TV was 100% wrong.
I totally agree. There's no chance in anything that was anything was right there. So
how is there 4 laps left and the guy has 2% fuel left? There's no way. There's no. And he has a burnout all the way down the front stretch. Like, okay.
This is going to be a public service announcement from the BWB. Can we stop complaining and thinking everything in NASCAR is rigged? Can we please stop it? Like, okay, your favorite driver didn't win. Unfortunately, it happens. You get 36 shots to win a race in a year, and some of these guys win multiple races. Just because it worked out for Hendrick Motorsports does not mean that Rick Hendrick peaked NASCAR, which I saw after that week that they were like, oh, Rick Hendrick once again is paying NASCAR off to win these races. Knock it off. Knock it off. Yeah. It was a great analytical strategy. And to be honest with you, I'm surprised Letarte blew it out blew it out of proportion the way that he did. Steve Letarte made a living off of analytics.
Yep.
And he's like, I don't know, my math doesn't calculate. Well, guess what? It just didn't calculate. They clearly saw something. They were saving fuel. They got into a nice lead. They managed to lead very well. We need to stop with this whole everything's rigged. It's not. Knock it off.
No, yeah.
So you got Brad K. Sorry, that was public service announcement from the Broken Wheel Bearing podcast. Sorry. You got Brad Keselowski. I like Brad K in the spot too, but I'm not picking him. I like Ryan Blaney.
Okay, yeah, he was faster this past year too.
I like Blaney in the spot.
Fuel
I think
screwed him too.
This is the part of the season that you're going to start seeing Ryan Blaney start heating up.
This is when he usually does, yeah.
Yep, especially when you're starting to come up into the chase, right? You're going to start seeing Ryan Blaney start picking some of these wins off. Richmond following week. So we go from Iowa to Richmond, which nice little stretch there. I like that.
This is going to be ballsy. I think he gets 2. Give me Rowdy again.
You like Rowdy?
Back in the day before he was on RCR, he was very good there.
That Kyle Busch. You got Kyle Busch winning 2 races this year. That's
yeah. Hey man, the streak's got to come down. I personally think Richard Childress. I could be wrong. I don't talk to the guy. I don't know anybody at RCR. But at the end of the day, I think and I want to really hope that he's realizing that he is wasting years of Kyle Busch.
Well, yeah. I mean, something's got to give, right?
Yes.
Like, he's too talented of a driver. But you know what? Who knows, though?
Yeah.
Who knows what we know? Who knows what Kyle Busch is at this point in his career? Could it be RCR, or could, Joe Gibbs may have been right. Sometimes these legends end up getting to these pinnacle points in their careers where it's like, I'm at the top, I start regressing. We've had this for years in NASCAR, where drivers were just so elite and something happened, and the regression never showed, and it just happened.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, let's call it as is. I mean, Richard Petty and Darrell Waltrip are not good examples of that. They've raced probably 10 years past their prime. I look at a guy like Jimmy Johnson. People forget that Jimmy Johnson won 3 races in 2017. People forget that. Jimmy Johnson was a championship caliber driver in 2017. Now, I blame the wreck at Pocono for his decline, because he never was the same after that wreck in turn 1 in the spring race, because he won 3 of those races before that Pocono spring race. But going into the season, he was legit. 2018, 2019, 2020 became what we notoriously know Jimmy Johnson as. Once was.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm scared with Kyle Busch. It's like I feel like we're so desperate as fans to want old Rowdy back. And I do too. I think NASCAR's so much more fun when Kyle Busch is winning races. There's no doubt about it. But at the same time, it's like he has won in this equipment.
Yeah.
He's won races in this equipment. He's won at California. He's won at Gateway. He's won at Talladega. And the Talladega one we can argue because it was really a last lap pass. I get it. But he won Gateway in California pretty convincingly.
Yeah. I just like, and this is the thing. You just said it. It's heartbreaking to watch because when you watch him in a race, he's in the middle of the pack. He just looks so reserved and just comfortable there. You don't see him race like he used to be aggressive, doing these crazy ass freaking passes and moves, flying down the track, flying up the track. It's just like, I just feel like he's just like this, just enjoying a Sunday cruise. Like, where's this Rowdy at? Like, and is it that maybe it's time for him to hang it up? He's very huge in his son Braxton with racing. Like, I get it. That's what he's kind of shown that has a lot of his focus to, but I don't know, man. It's just if that's the way he feels, I just think it's time just to hang the helmet up, put the gloves down, and just do it with your son, man, or start winning fucking races.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, yes, could it be that RCR equipment's that bad? I mean, again, do I trust RCR equipment to be in victory lane every single week? Absolutely not. I think they are a museum on a racetrack at this point. That's all they are.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like Kyle Busch since 2020 has not really been Rowdy. He won the championship in 2019, and then he won 4 races at Joe Gibbs from 2020 to 2022. And then he won the 3 races at RCR where it's like, okay, they gave up on Kyle Busch. And again, he's won races in this equipment. But what type of driver is Kyle Busch at this point? And that's a question to our audience tonight as well while we continue giving picks. What kind of driver is Kyle Busch? Is Kyle Busch a once was? Because, yes, we can blame RCR for the equipment, but at the same time, it's the same equipment he took to victory lane 3 times in 2023.
Yep.
Just saying. With that being said, Richmond, I got Kyle Busch. I think he ends his winless streak at Richmond. RCR has found speed at Richmond.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with RCR there. Honestly, Austin Dillon, this is his one shot of victory.
Yeah. Too bad. Too bad they ain't winning it anymore. So.
No. All right. Going after Richmond, we head up to the Magic Mile up in New Hampshire. New Hampshire's a weird track. Who do you got?
Again, he's notoriously good here, Joey Logano.
Got Logano.
He does dominate in New Hampshire.
Yeah, I'm going with Christopher Bell here.
I like that pick.
I think Seabell for a couple years was really good at this track, right? 2021, 2022. He has speed at this track a lot. Joe Gibbs Racing, Toyota Racing developed. They're really good at this track. I'm sticking with my pick. I'm going with Christopher Bell here. Okay. Last race before we get into the chase. We got Daytona. Basically for the cutoff, quote unquote, now.
This is where I'm going to go with Carson Hocevar.
It's
a gamble, but again, a track you can't. Anything can happen. So.
That's interesting because when Trioval checked in and said he's got Spire winning 2 races, I said, you're not. Or I was thinking in my head, I'm like, I got Hocevar winning 1, but like, who knows? I have Suarez and Hocevar both winning races. Spire 2 races right there.
Hey,
you have McDowell and Hocevar.
Yeah.
That's 2 races for Spire. So, yeah, maybe Spire. Hey, look, maybe we're on to something. Maybe Spire's the hottest team. Or they could go basically 14 races without top 10. For this one, I have at Daytona, I'm going to go Brad Keselowski here. I think Brad helping Busher back out in 2023. I think it's reverse roles at Daytona. I think that Busher ends up pushing Brad to victory lane in this case. All right, so now we enter the chase, which is exciting because, well, it's exciting. It's not exciting. It goes both ways, right? I'm going to miss the cutoff races. It's going to throw me off the first year, but after year 2 or after the first year, I'm probably going to be super excited for the chase. First race of the chase is Darlington. I've already been there once. Who do you got?
See, it's so hard because it's like you also want to think about who's going to be the drivers that are in. You know what I mean, and how these guys. But I like Ross Chastain.
You got Chastain. Yeah, Chastain's a good pick at Darlington.
Yeah.
And with the way that you and I have the season going out, Chastain looks like a driver who's probably going to be most likely in the chase. Again, I think the chase format actually fits his driving ability pretty well. I like it because he is a very consistent driver. Now, the problem is he does get very cold at times. So, but I do expect him to be in the chase. So I like that answer. I like Chastain a lot. For me at Darlington, again, chase drivers at this point, not that none of the non-chase drivers can't win. They can. But in this scenario, I got Denny Hamlin ended up winning Darlington to open up the chase. All right. Next up we have is Gateway. Not a lot of. I mean, again, we've been here 2022, so 22, 23, 24, 25. So we got 4 years of data already. One of those winners was very interesting, Austin Cindric, but that was due to fuel mileage because Blaney's crew didn't put the enough gas in the tank. But Gateway's a tough track. It really is.
Yeah, it is. Give me Blaney. That's what I was thinking from the beginning. And then he just reminded me of that race. Yeah, give me Blaney.
So I haven't picked Joey Logano yet this year to win a race. And that was unintentional. But this is the race I think that he wins. He's going to be a chase driver. Penske is pretty good at this track. He was very effective at this race the first 2 years. I think he gets back into his winning way or his ways back at Gateway. I think he wins at Gateway. All right, next up, we got the night race at Bristol.
Give me William Byron.
William Byron. Yeah, that's a good pick. I'm gonna go with back to back. I'm going with Christopher Bell here.
Okay.
He won last year in 2025. I think he wins again in 2026, in my opinion.
Okay.
Obviously, this could be a nice Kyle Larson spot as well.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, yeah.
But we do have Kansas up on the board.
So yeah, that's true.
Here we go. We got Kansas up.
That's going to be Larson for me.
You got Larson?
And I think he wins it in a dominant fashion.
I'm going to go with the driver. Again, he went winless in 2025. I think that after the whole lawsuit situation, I think, again, 23XI is now feeling more like home, in my opinion. 23XI, I had picked to win the first Kansas race. I think 23XI sweeps Kansas. Bubba doesn't win this race. I think his teammate Tyler Reddick does.
Okay.
Real quick, as you're just tuning into us, again, a question that we just asked the audience. The first question of the night on the Blown Engine chat line. Feel free to chime in. We have who, in your opinion, is the most overrated driver as we enter 2026. Last week we asked underrated. Feel free to chime in about your most underrated driver as well. Give us your most overrated and underrated in 2026. And then our second question of the night, what do you expect from Kyle Busch entering 2026? Is Kyle Busch a once was, essentially? I know everyone blames RCR equipment, but is he a once was? We're going to continue with our preview show and our picks. Jake, we go out. Oh, wait. Yeah, I picked Larson. You picked Larson. I picked Tyler Reddick at Kansas. Now we head to the final 1.5 of the season. Or, excuse me, not the final one, but the final, oval 1.5 we have is Las Vegas. Who do you got?
I got Larson winning back-to-back.
You got Larson. Okay, so.
I think he sweeps Vegas.
Gotcha. I don't think that he sweeps Vegas. Usually he'll win one. I don't think he wins the other one.
I know he usually struggles in the later race one. I know he usually does.
He has one in the fall. He has one in the fall at Vegas. But go ahead.
He does struggle. He's still fast at that track, don't get me wrong. But yes, he statistically wise, you do see him from the first race to the second race is a little bit different of a driver.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it does come with later season track, but yeah, for some, I just it's so hard not to pick him there.
It is.
If you want to have a safe pick, that's who you pick, and it's not that I'm trying to be safe.
No, it's not a bad pick. I mean, it's not a bad pick at all. But for me, for Las Vegas, I'm actually going to go with Ross Chastain on this one.
He's good there.
I like Trackhouse on the 1.5s. I think that their program is one of the best, kind of the more underrated programs in the Cup. Chastain has run in the front a lot at Vegas in his career. I think that Chastain ends up picking victory number 2 at Las Vegas in 2026. Next up we have is Charlotte. Now, we're not at the Roval anymore.
Yes.
We're at the Oval, which for the fans that are tuning in and have been living under a rock, we are no longer at the Roval. We are at the Oval. Jake, who do you got, Charlotte?
It's the mini one. It's not the – because aren't they making it a smaller track?
No, it's the 1.5.
Oh, they are? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the 1.5 Oval.
I don't know what the hell I was reading.
No, you're good. Damn NASCAR Facebook people. No,
Charlotte, I'm going to pick a guy who's not going to be in the chase. Give me Alex Bowman. Alex Bowman.
Got Alex Bowman. This one I got William Byron. I think that Byron ends up sweeping both the Charlotte races in 2026. I think that Hendrick Motorsports that's basically their home track.
Yeah.
They love to race there. I got William Byron sweeping them. All right. Now, the final 4 races of the Chase format. We got Phoenix, Talladega, Martinsville, and Homestead. Let's start off with Phoenix. Who do you got? Second time around out in the Valley of the Sun.
I think Chase Briscoe wins his second race there.
Okay. I was actually going to have Chase Briscoe myself. I think Briscoe ends up winning this race. I think that, granted, this is not the championship race anymore, but last year I think that he massively struggled, or not struggled, but he had a lot of issues. I think he goes up to Phoenix. I picked him to win at Pocono already earlier in the year. I think he wins race number 2 at Phoenix in the Chase. And again, I have him as a Chase driver in 2026, so this absolutely could get him kind of the ball rolling a little bit.
Yeah.
Talladega is up next. Again, throw all the stats out because we're on super speedways.
Give me Eric Jones.
Eric Jones here.
A non-Chase driver.
Non-Chase. Yeah, that's critical. Non-Chase driver. I actually have a non-Chase driver win this race as well. I think for me at Talladega, I think that Ricky Stenhouse Jr. goes down to Talladega and wins.
That'd be awesome. I'm never upset when he wins.
I don't have him win the spring race, but I have him win the fall race. All right. Finally, we have Martinsville before the championship race. Second time around the paperclip. Who do you got?
Who did I pick in the beginning?
You picked Chase Elliott.
All right. Give me his buddy, Ryan Blaney.
You got Ryan Blaney? Yeah, this is like a massive Ryan Blaney. I'm piggybacking off of you. I'm going Blaney. This is like Blaney's bread and butter.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
When it was a cutoff race, this is definitely where he strives, and he does very well there. But I feel like I just said I'm going to pick Ryan Blaney. I apologize. I'm not picking Ryan Blaney though. I just said it. I'm sorry. Scratch whatever I said. We're not going. Jake's going Ryan Blaney. It is still a great spot for Ryan Blaney. I'm going William Byron though. I think Byron's going to start getting hot, and I think that he's going to start collecting these wins. This is a big William Byron spot for me.
I get nervous with Byron at the end of the year. I really do. But yes, he is capable of winning that race for sure.
All right, finally, two-part question here. We got Homestead as the final race of the season. Again, it's not winner take all, so this is going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you, who do you have winning Homestead, and who do you have winning the championship?
Don't fall off your chair when I say this.
Okay.
Denny Hamlin wins the race and wins the championship.
Denny Hamlin, wow. Notorious Denny Hamlin hater Jake Belts taking Denny Hamlin to win both.
I think this guy is going to have he had a fire up his ass last year, but this guy is now. I think he's coming in this season not he ain't playing friendly. He ain't racing friendly no more. Don't get me wrong, he's a clean driver, unless when he's next to the 5 car. But this is it, man. Like last year was like basically should have had it handed to him. But I don't know. Like, dude, after this year, I can't pick him again. Do I want to see the guy win a championship? Does he deserve a championship? Yes. All my feelings aside, the guy deserves a championship, 100%. And I just think this is it. I think this is the last chance. The last chance.
I agree. I think that this is like his last opportunity. Now, I don't know where his headspace is going to be entering the first part of the season. The first part. I think by race 6, I think he's going to have everything mentally checked back in again in tune. Now, granted, it is Denny Hamlin. He is one of the peak drivers of the sport.
Yep.
But I just feel like what he had to overcome the last 4 months is very difficult for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're a regular person or not, you lost his father.
Yeah.
That within itself is very difficult. But I do think that, like I said, when he dials in, I think that Hamlin's going to be back to being Denny Hamlin. I really do.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. But for my Homestead pick, I'm going Christopher Bell for the win. And then I think for my champion, when it's all said and done, I have Christopher Bell. So I think that Bell ends up winning the final race at Homestead, and I think that Christopher Bell ends up winning the championship. So you and I both picked the winner of Homestead winning the championship, which we just said probably won't happen. Well, Jake, very exciting things coming up for us as race fans, right? We got the chase back. Feels like NASCAR's kind of coming back to, what it was. Daytona finally back on this, we're here. We are here with the 2026 season. And again, we appreciate everyone tuning in to us on our preview. Our picks will be posted live or on Facebook at the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. If you don't follow us yet, follow us at the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. We'll have our picks on that page over the next coming days. And with all that being said, Jake, green flag's out.
Yes, man. Can't wait. Qualifying just got turned on. That's it, man. Strap in. I think it's going to be a great season. I really do. I'm looking forward to going through it with our fans, man. I think it's going to be a fun year.
It is. I think it's going to be a very fun year. I'm excited because we did picks and all that type of stuff on the schedule. So it's really going to be fun to kind of backtrack on what we chose and all that type of stuff all throughout 2026. And, again, whatever we picked, I would just say this. Pick the opposite.
Yep.
Just pick the opposite.
100%.
Yeah. Because it doesn't matter about the stats, data, and all that type of stuff. Usually 9 times out of 10, we're usually wrong with our picks. So,
I think you and me got maybe combined 4 races right last year.
I think so. Yeah.
And I might be being generous with 4.
Yeah. So at the end of each show in the regular season, though, we always ask who's the pick this week. So we already told you who our Daytona 500 winner, who are picked for the Daytona 500 win is Jake has Kyle Busch. I got Chris Buescher. Who do you have for the poll tonight?
Who do I have for the poll? Well, I'm watching this, and Priest just laid down one of the best laps I've seen.
Yeah.
He had the pole last year, right? No,
Chase Briscoe did.
Briscoe did. That's right. Poll. You know what? Just because I didn't say his name, and I'll just give it to Austin Cindric. I'll give him his one fame. I don't like the guy, so I'll just give it to him.
Yeah. You and I did not pick Cindric, by the way, at all to win a race this year.
We did not.
No,
I
we
do,
didn't.
and I think after this season, he's on a hot seat for a Penske ride.
Well, he is a free agent at the end of the season, so it's going to be pretty interesting if he does not win.
Yes.
Especially with how many times we picked both his teammates. It's going to be very difficult to look at that 2 car and sit there and go, you know what? It might be time to switch things up.
Yeah.
My poll prediction tonight, I think Hendrick gets back in the top of the leaderboard. I'm going with Alex Bowman. I'm going with Alex Bowman for the poll, and I think Hendrick ends up taking the top 2 spots. I think Bowman and Byron are going to be 1 and 2, and then the other 2, Larson and Elliott, will have to race in the duels for position.
Yeah.
So again, with all that being said, thank you so much for everyone tuning in to us live tonight on air for our 2026 preview show. If you love what you're hearing, follow us on the Broken Wheel Bearing podcast. And again, we appreciate everyone who has started supporting us, listening to us. Follow us on Facebook, Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast, YouTube at the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast. And then if you miss our live episodes, we are on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music, which we will be a lot better at in 2026, posting things up on air. And then finally, if you have TikTok, we are on TikTok now at the Broken Wheel Bearing Pod. We will be on TikTok posting up some fun clips from each and every single week from our episodes. With all that being said, Jake, it's Daytona.
Yes, sir. I hope we all get to watch it on Sunday.
Yeah, that's the other thing, too. I don't know if we're going to be able to watch it on Sunday. I think it's going to be rained out, and it's going to be a Monday night race. I really think it's going to be Monday night.
Yeah. Let's hope and pray that it comes that's on Sunday, man.
I'm used to this Daytona 500 on Sunday or Monday now. You know what's going to suck is next year when they're off on President's Day weekend.
Yeah.
Because now they're going to next year, the 500's the weekend after President's Day. It's going to suck if it gets rained out. Now, I did check the weather this year. Not saying it's going to translate to next year or anything, but next year, the weather at Daytona for next weekend is actually beautiful. 74 and sunny every single day. So I'm hoping next year when we do change off of President's Day, we don't have to deal with any rain. But if you're going to the race, again, have a wonderful time. It is one of the best tracks I've ever been to in my entire life. It literally is the coolest place ever.
It is a beautiful place.
It is beautiful. Unfortunately, we were not able to make it this year just because of pre-obligations. We'll be at Pocono for a yearly tailgate for our 2026 campaign. And then we're still working to find details out on our second race date. We're going to be doing a southern track. I know a couple of tracks have been floating around. We're pretty much just wrapping up and confirming where we're going to be. We should have that up and running within the next couple of weeks. So, folks, again, thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for the support. Thanks for following us on all of our social media platforms. And if you have friends that love NASCAR, they want to listen to NASCAR talk and banter and all that type of stuff, send them our way. We would love to have them as fans. So with all that being said, if you're at the track, be safe this weekend. Have a great time. If you're not and you're watching it, wherever you're watching it, enjoy it because, man, it is the most beautiful day as a race fan, the Daytona 500. With all that being said, have a wonderful night, and we'll talk next week post-Daytona. Good night.